Hello, world. I'm awful glad to be back with you. You know I love you. I don't live until I'm with you once again. Welcome to another great episode of On the Air. And for Area 58 Community Access Media, I am Ken Simmons. Proud to say that. Love doing what I'm doing. And as you can see, in back of me is a gray building. It's a bit of a mystery. I've never been in it. I'm going to go in it with you. I'm going to take you in there for a tour, and we're going to see what it's all about. The only thing I know for sure about it is that it's a training building. And they also tell me that sometimes they light it on fire. Wow. You know, this department does their own training, and they do a heck of a job. It's not 1 year, it's an ongoing process. And that's exactly what's needed if you're going to fight a fire efficiently. And our fire chief, Craig Weston, knows that. All the guys and girls that work here and put out fires, they know that. So I think we're blessed with a great fire department. While I'm at it, I must add, I think we're blessed with a great police department as well. So listen, let's go in that building and see what it's all about. Don't be afraid. You've got me to protect you. But let's go. Follow me. The back of me, as you can see, is the building they use for training purpose. We'll get into that a little bit more. There's a helipad over there. We're going to show you that right now. Chief, what's...
So this dividing line behind us, this grass strip, separates our apparatus response area from our training yard. We're very passionate in the town of Carver. We do our own training in our own facilities. That keeps firefighters in town ready for an emergency even while they're training. You'll notice when you go by our stations, any one of the stations, we're training all the time.
Yes.
And we're very passionate about that. This behind me is the first step of this training facility is a pavilion that we have firefighters use to practice, go over scenarios on a board before they go into the building. So they're all on the same page of what the scenario is going to be. It's like an outdoor classroom. It's also an area where firefighters can get out of the heat. When it's a hot sunny day and they're working all steady, they can take off their stuff, take a break. It's rehab as important as anything. And also get out of the weather. If it's raining out, we train in the rain as much as we do a nice day, so they can get out of the weather for a few minutes, strip down, change their clothes. So that's what that's function as far as more of an outdoor training facility, pavilion area.
Okay.
And then behind us you'll see different props. First of all, you'll see a helipad outlined on the ground over there. We can land a Medivac helicopter here. It's a designated landing zone in town. It's called LZ6, Landing Zone 6. It's already mapped by the MedFlight company. They know exactly where it is. So we can have an ambulance and a fire truck meet them here, and we can load a patient. So we always know it's plowed. We always know it's ready to go. Behind it is a concrete pad where that vehicle is moving right now, and you'll see a car out there. We normally practice our Jaws of Life training in that area. So we crush up cars, people donate us their vehicles, which is very appreciative. And we practice, we put mannequins inside them, and we put them in different positions. And we practice with the Jaws of Life, opening them up and removing, pretending it's a trap patient. So that pad keeps our tools very clean. It's a good training environment, we're not in the dirt. And we can practice different scenarios. Around the back, you'll see a propane prop. There's no propane in it, it's an empty tank, but we can practice if we had a propane leak or we were protecting an exposure that had a propane tank, so we teach our firefighters how to approach a propane tank. Next to it is a car. That car we can have actual live fires in that car, so we practice car fire scenarios.
Is that a real car?
No, it's built out of stainless steel.
Oh, okay.
And we can keep lighting it on fire time and time again, and what it teaches is firefighters how to approach it, If you approach a car fire from a wrong angle, the bumpers can actually explode because there's gas shocks inside them.
okay,
so
yeah,
they
yeah.
can hurt you. There's fuel tanks. There's a lot of hazards.
Could I prevail on you for just a minute?
Sure.
This time of the year, summertime, a lot of people are doing a lot of grilling.
Yeah.
Is there any safety tips you can give them about propane gas tanks
Well,
in their
the biggest
backyard?
thing we like to do is make sure your grill is clean. Leftover grease will cause a grill fire very quickly.
Will it?
So
Okay.
wash your grill, at least once a year. Try to keep it a safe distance from your house. Don't try to keep it right up against your house because the fire can go right up the side of your house and into your house.
When you're transporting a full tank of propane in your car, is that dangerous?
Well, you have to have it capped.
Yep.
You have to have it in an upright position, and you have to have it securely fastened inside your
Could it explode
Uh,
from jouncing?
No, it could overpressurize, and actually, when it overpressurizes, it will blow off propane. When it blows off propane, that means propane is escaping it, and if it hit an ignition source, yes, it could catch fire.
Okay.
So that's not a good thing.
Just a couple of tips. You people probably already know that. I don't. I'm a jerk when it comes to all this stuff. Can we go inside?
Sure, absolutely.
Straight
We're going
ahead.
there right now.
Okay, we're going to take another break. We'll be right back though, so don't go away. All right, so here we are inside. What do you call it? Training?
This is our training facility. This building consists of many different rooms that we can have many different scenarios that a firefighter would encounter in a call. This room that we're standing in is called the burn room. This is all lined in stainless steel and insulation, where if we choose, we can have real fires that we can show firefighters how to extinguish a real fire, the heat that comes with a real fire, how to crawl inside a building, how to have a proper hose stream, how to vent. So
He passes that off rather casually for those of you sitting at home. It crawled through a fire. Have you ever crawled through a fire? I don't care what kind of equipment you got on. That's a scary scenario.
this room, as we practiced in our recruit training final exam, we had it up to 1,000 degrees.
Wow.
So that's why it's important for a firefighter to learn how to protect themselves with their gear, make sure there's no void spaces, because at 1,000 degrees, it doesn't take long, obviously, to burn yourself very quickly. So, this room is strictly used for burning materials, and so firefighters can practice in the smoke.
I've seen smoke coming out from the street.
Yeah.
I say, how do they keep that maintained?
Well, we
That
also
way
have
you
a
can see.
system in here that will show you the smoke. We also have artificial smoke that I'll show you in another room. That every room in here can be filled with artificial smoke, which is 95% of what you see from the street. We're using a mechanical smoke to practice search and rescue. The live fire component is used on a limited basis because it is very taxing on a firefighter, taxing on our gear. So we try to do that at the final stages.
Okay.
So we can show you in another room
Yeah.
some more things.
Yeah. Follow me. I'll follow you.
So,
This room looks like a maze.
so as firefighters enter the burn room, they come through a series of wood prop mazes that we can change around instantly. So a firefighter never comes through the same way twice. A firefighter normally can't see in a burning building. The
right.
smoke is very impacted from the ceiling. So we make sure they don't memorize anything. So we change it around the next time through so they learn to use their instincts, their feel, how they did a right-hand search or a left-hand search, or what they just went by and how they communicated that to the last firefighter, not just the first firefighter. So this room is mainly just to maneuver a hose around, teach a firefighter how to pull a hose around an obstacle. The nozzle man might be in the fire room trying to put the fire out, but he doesn't have enough hose. So they have to communicate with the last firefighter in line to keep bringing them more hose. And how do you do that? It's
How
not
do they
simple.
communicate with each other? You got the nozzle man in there.
Yep.
You got the hose guy out here. Do they have headsets on?
No, we don't. We have an amplifier system where they have an amplifier on their mask which projects their voice louder.
Oh, okay.
So they can hear a little better. But it's all by training together and knowing what that person's doing.
Know what
ahead
he
of you,
needs.
and you know what your job is. If they're pulling on that line and it's taut, you need to know you need to feed the
Yeah,
line. So
okay.
it all comes with just training. You have
Yeah.
to be a team. So
Just train. What are these?
these are what we wear when we do a live burn. These are a special suit that was actually donated to us by another fire department, so we don't wreck our normal structure gear. This can take a little more heat, and it kind of saves our normal gear. So whoever's putting on the burn, the instructor who's actually lighting a fire, they would wear this stuff and not contaminate their own gear. And then we have different mannequins. We have a bunch of mannequins that we hide all on the complex, whether it's in a vehicle or in a search and rescue mode, where we always have an objective. A firefighter is first trained to do a search and rescue and then extinguish the fire. So a firefighter will always come in and search your home to make sure there's no one in it. That's life safety is the #1 priority.
Okay.
The fire is secondary. Sometimes we have to put out the fire first before we can do a search, but we always want to try to make a save. So we will hide mannequins whether they know it or not, and to practice their skills of making a save.
I'm going to ask you a question. I've asked this question of other people, so I think I know the answer, but I think the people should know if there's a burning building and there's natural gas going into it, and that hasn't been turned off yet, would you send a man in there?
We always secure any gas, electricity, but it always depends on the conditions. If there's a person in there that's trapped, yes, we will go in and get it.
But there is no person now, it's just a building?
No, we'll try to secure the hazards from the outside first, and then we will attempt to extinguish the fire. You know, another one of our missions is property conservation. So, you know, that is a priority of ours, is to save your house. I mean, so, you know, we do have to, at some point, make a determination of putting firefighters in there to save your house and your property and your memories.
Okay.
That is our charge. So conditions are not always great to do that.
Oh,
so we're not the type of fire department that stands there and just watches something burn. You know, someone has to put it out, or put it out before it spreads to another house or spreads to another problem. So, you know, we you know, there's a lot of safeguards that go into making sure we try to be as safe as we can.
With the 4th of July coming up, how do you feel about fireworks?
Well, I'm not a fan of fireworks. You know, obviously they're illegal in the state of Massachusetts. So, you know,
Fire hazard.
Yeah, they're definitely a fire hazard, and they can cause a lot of damage.
Yeah. So, do you do the jaws of life here?
Yes, the vehicle you saw. When we walk back in, we'll show you a vehicle that is. We have a bunch of sets of jaws of life in the town, and we practice with them regularly.
Okay. Lead on, Michelle.
Sure. This is another area of the building where we can have chimney fires. We can have a real fire where we can have this chimney goes all the way to the roof, where it's not uncommon for our firefighters to go to homes that have a chimney fire. And the chimney fire can turn into a structure fire because once it breaches the wall of the chimney, it gets inside your home. So firefighters will have a fire going. They'll come in with thermal imaging cameras like we talked about. They'll scan the walls to see if it's escaped the walls. At the same time, another crew is laddering the roof, which we have a prop on the roof. They're putting a hose down the roof to extinguish the fire inside the chimney. So a lot of different objectives are being reached with this prop. So a very simple prop, but we use it a lot. This here is a room we're very proud of. We had a couple firefighters, firefighter Dave Bucher and his friend Al did a lot of work on this room. This is a maze room that I'm going to show you is 100% built by our firefighters. And this is where we teach firefighters how to get comfortable in their air packs.
All right. Wow, look at this room. Holy mackerel.
So this room is many hallways, many confined space areas. Probably take a little while to film it. Many obstructions that a firefighter would encounter in a normal fire situation. Again, we don't know what your house looks like. We're not familiar with it. Right. So we have to train with every obstacle we can think of. Whether it's crawling over a rafter or a floor collapsing, we can recreate that in this room. We had this same prop in our old facility, and we took it apart, stored it, and reassembled it here, and obviously brought it even to another level.
Oh, what a job that must have been to put this together.
Yeah, so firefighters will crawl through here in teams of 2, 3, and 4, working, communicating. We don't put any smoke in this room. It's a challenge as it is, but we do darken their mask, or we turn off the lights, and that teaches them they have to communicate with each other. After the first firefighter climbs over an obstacle, they have to communicate that to the second and third firefighter. And, you know, they learn what it's like to go under an entanglement prop. If this rope was to get caught on their pack,
Look at that.
that grabs their pack, and now they're caught. So the next firefighter has to learn how to get them untangled, and they'll continue on to whatever trap door that we open up and how we want them to go.
Do they go through that little?
Oh, they go through that, they go through a triangle.
Oh, jeepers creepers. You people sitting at home, picture this place, if you will. Total darkness. You've got 40 pounds of equipment on. You've never been in here before in your life, and you've got to negotiate this entire thing. Imagine that. Just imagine that.
When they come into this room, they get three choices. The instructor will set up the room. This door is normally closed. So the scenario is they start here. They're either presented, they have to go through a window. This could be someone's window at their house, so they have to all go through the window. They either have to all go through a trap door, through a crawl space, like they're going under a mobile home or in a
They go
mobile
through
home.
that with full equipment?
Yep, full equipment. Or they're gonna go through a regular door. So they would feel the door, enter the door, and then they would go through and start their search.
Oh, jeepers.
Their search starts here, and it depends on how we want it to look. So they come through here, and then it takes them, go to the whole thing, but it will take them through all kinds of scenarios. All the way around, it's like a big maze.
Did you get a shot of that, Rich? This is unbelievable. This is where the search starts.
So we can force them to go certain directions depending on how challenging we want to make it.
Wow.
New firefighters, we keep it very simple and very, so they get very comfortable. Seasoned firefighters, we change it up.
I can't begin to tell you how impressed I am with this.
Yeah,
This is, I think it's worse or better than stone.
Oh, well, we're very proud of what we've built here.
Yeah,
Again,
you certainly should be.
we've learned a lot.
Who did you say built this?
A firefighter, Dave Bucher.
Dave Bucher?
And his friend, and then we had firefighters, there was a whole team of electricians on the department, Eric Germain, and many firefighters that contributed their own time. They wired the building 100% themselves. So that was all done by our firefighters. Basically, the training building was built with the funds from the town, and then all the interior things you see in here were 100% built by our firefighters.
Gratis.
So, yeah, all gratis, so.
Those are dangerous stairs. And again, these guys are carrying with 40 pounds of equipment. I don't know how they do that. Okay.
So as you look around, and hopefully the camera can pan around, there's different ways. I mean, it can be changed in a matter of minutes. We can change the scenario.
Yeah, everything is put
Things drop
together.
down, there's doors that open, stairs that can be raised, there's tunnels that they can climb through and crawl through. And again, it's all to increase confidence in wearing their air pack. It's a very confined atmosphere, so it can be like claustrophobic.
Yeah.
And it teaches skills on how they're placing their hands, how they're communicating with their fellow firefighters. And in the end, it creates a much better firefighter, more confidence, and translates into, helping our residents, whatever their emergency is. So
Wow.
we're very proud of how this room came out, and a lot of people were responsible for it.
Yeah, it's incredible. Are you beginning to see why these guys need the best facility we can afford for them? And, this fire department, when we get to the end, I have a real prepared speech for you. I think that this is just, I've done shows at Stowe Fire Academy in Stowe, Massachusetts, as I said before, and I think this is better or worse, however you want to phrase it, than they do. This is just incredible. And to see the guys coming through here, if we could film that one day, I think that'd be very interesting. You can see the instructors standing here, hollering and screaming and barking at these guys for not doing the right thing. It's just an amazing, amazing thing. I'm so glad that we've got the fire department we have. All right, where are we going from here?
We'll find another room to show you another scenario.
All right, take another room. And we're going to turn the camera off again now because we're in kind of a dangerous area here, walking-wise. There's girders and all kinds of obstacles, intentionally, purposely here. But my cameraman, is in his advancing years, needs a little more protection. So we'll be right back.
This machine here is actually what we use to smoke the building. So that's how we generate all our fake smoke.
And that's a tea kettle.
What's that?
That's a tea kettle.
Basically, this is, I'll come in front of the camera and explain it. These hoses go to different places around the whole building.
Oh.
And this machine in here is our smoke machine. So we flip this on and we suck a liquid out of a fog liquid that heats it up and actually pushes it through this vent system. and this vents come down, like there's one over there in that corner.
Oh, yeah.
We can open that and tell if we want smoke to come over there.
Okay.
Or we can put smoke up to the third floor if we want to. So we can fill the whole building with smoke in a matter of about 5 minutes.
Well, you should be proud of this. You know that? This is incredible.
So this is what we use probably more than anything, is this type of machine that we can control. And we can also turn on a fan that we can take the smoke out as quick as we put it in.
Do you like fires in here, though?
Just in that room.
Just in that room.
And I'll show you a room upstairs.
Okay.
This up here is more, we set up as like a house environment, and this is all just donated furniture and furniture from our firefighters' families. And
Looks like my living room.
so we'll set it up different ways, and we'll hide a mannequin or pretend a family's in here. And they'll come up in here and do a search and rescue with either fake or live smoke. This room behind us is a second place that we could have a live fire, and it actually simulates a bedroom where we have a bed in there that we would have a fire on a bed, and we could come in, do our search, and then all of a sudden we could come into a live fire in a contained room that has stainless steel siding and insulation, and they could extinguish a real fire.
Oh, my gracious. This is a well-built building, too. Look at the steel girders.
Yeah, no, it was made to last a long time.
Yeah. It's just phenomenal. And this is all fireproof, this door.
Yeah, the doors are fireproof to contain the fire within inside the room. Obviously, out here it's not fireproof. I mean, that's why the fire is contained to a certain room. And these type of scenarios are continued on the second and the third and fourth floor.
Okay, you've got another floor going on.
We do have
right?
another floor going on.
We're not going to do that.
Nope, that's fine.
Okay.
Very similar, but different scenarios that we can do in those areas.
All right, this is just so, let me kind of sum up. This is the training facility. They actually had a fire in 2 of the rooms that you see here. The firefighters go through here, and you saw the maze downstairs that we were just at. They do all kinds of things that they would have to do in your home. They've never been in your home. They don't know what your home is all about. They have to feel their way around, and that's what this training is all about. And I just learned now from a very astute cameraman that other fire departments are invited to partake in this training session. Am I right, Chief?
Yeah, so we invite departments by invitation only. Obviously, this is a Carver Fire Training Facility,
Right.
and it has to last for our use. So we're very passionate about how it's maintained. But we do have, we're very supportive of our neighboring fire departments. So by request, they will come here and go through the maze room or go through a search and rescue. A month ago, we had a Plymouth County team, approximately 30 firefighters come through and spend the whole day in our classroom out here trying scenarios. It's not uncommon to see the town of Plimpton, town of Wareham, Plymouth, Onset, Duxbury,
Wow.
bunch of towns that will
Wow.
come here for a specific training evolution that we can provide them. And again, we want to be a good neighbor. They buy us to replenish our supplies, anything that we use, so
Yeah.
there's no cost associated with us. And it's very important for fire departments to train together, because we all support each other in emergency. So anytime we can develop the camaraderie or understand how they train and we train, it becomes more seamless.
Makes
on the
perfect
fire.
sense to
So,
me.
we're very passionate.
Can I ask a favor of you?
Sure.
On camera, when you have a training session of any magnitude, could we tape it?
Absolutely. We'd
All
love to see
right.
that. Absolutely.
Would you give us like a week's notice?
No problem. Yeah.
Oh, God, I couldn't wait. I can't wait for
We'll
that.
wait for a good scenario to come along.
Okay, great. All right, where are we headed now?
I think
Are we taking up a lot of your time?
No, I'm enjoying it.
Okay, great.
We're gonna head back outside.
Okay.
And then probably head back to the main building.
All right, so while we're going down the stairs and they're helping an old man down the stairs, and the cameraman has put his camera down, so I'm going to say we'll see you in just a few minutes. Don't go away.
I'd just like to point out this plaque on our training facility. You know, it's easy to single out certain people, but I really want to stress that our entire department has contributed one way or another to this whole facility, and the town was gracious enough, obviously, to support us in the building. But a lot of effort went into our firefighters to give stuff out of their own pocket in their own time. And in this building, we put up a plaque to remember the people that are specialized in this building, with a training facility committee led by Deputy Eric Germain, William Froelich, one of our captains, firefighter Jeff Thomas, firefighter CJ Gillis, Robert Festuti, Dave Bucher, Bob Bounce, Bob Costello, Mike Palmieri, Rich Pearson, Danny Wilcox, and retired Chief William Harriman. A lot of these people on here are electricians in their normal life, and so they wired the building 100% free of cost. Some of the people on here remodeled the maze building that you saw. All of that was done through donations and their own labor. And all the props inside were built by people in town. So we had a lot of community support for this facility that a lot of people want to go unnamed, and because they've always supported this fire department and the community. So I just want to really recognize that it's not me. It's a team effort in this whole project that very unselfish people that put a lot of effort and time in. So.
Very well spoken. Very well said, Chief. Very well said. And you know something else? I know that you don't want to take credit for a lot of the things, but it starts at the top. It comes down.
I had good teachers.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You do one heck of a job. And here's, before we leave this particular area, here's a tip for you that the Chief gave me off camera. It was suggested by my very astute cameraman. If you want to help the firefighters, if you've got a pet living in your house, there's stickers for that. Put a sticker out there so if there, God forbid, should be a fire in your home, they know there's pets. Or children, or where they're sleeping. As much information as you can give them without, I don't say put billboards out on your lawn, sure, but as much information as you can give them makes their job that much easier, but more important, they can save your house maybe a little better too. Did I say that right?
Correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm generally not at a loss for words. I am so impressed. Do you see why people sitting at home, especially those of you that may have said, isn't it overkill? Do you see what you're getting for free? Do you see why we need to house the best equipment we can afford and get the best men we can afford? Do you understand that? They need a place like this to have their training, to keep their equipment up to par. And believe me, from the old fire station, I know that everything will be well maintained. I am so impressed with this guy standing beside me, Craig Weston, your fire chief. He is so committed. He is so into this. It's very obvious. If you know the guy at all, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know the guy, please take my word for it. He's got your safety at heart. That's why he wants the best he can get for the best people in the state, the people that live in Carver. Chief, before we leave, if you got anything you'd like to say to the people of Carver.
I just honestly and genuinely want to thank them for all they do for our department. We're here for them whether we had a new building or not, but we want to be a proactive department. We want to think of the future, and they've been very generous to us. I want to thank my officers and my firefighters and my staff. They give far more than they receive. That's the way we like it. So tremendous amount of support from the Board of Selectmen, the town administrator. This project was, I consider, very successful, and hopefully will serve as a role model for other projects in town. We want to create, a great community, and I think, obviously we feel we have a very strong fire department. This building adds to the character of the community. It showcases where we came from and how proud we are of it. And hopefully people are attracted to it, and people want to move to Carver and see what we represent. So it's been a great project. It's a long project. This project started in 2005, and took a year and a half to build, a year to design, and then we had to wait for a funding source, which we found that wouldn't cost our taxpayers any additional dollars. So we're proud of how we found that funding source. So we didn't have to have a tax increase for this building or an override. And that fund that was set up by some very intelligent people in this community will also fund a police station. It funds our fire equipment, our emergency services equipment. So I think a lot of creative ideas are happening in this community, and I think you have great leadership beyond the fire department. And I just want to thank our other public safety departments, EMS and police. We work very seamlessly together. There's no egos, very unselfish departments. And we get to an emergency, you know, we all kind of follow in line and get it done. So just want to thank you for coming today, and it's been a great experience, and hopefully you enjoyed the station.
You know, this guy would be something if he could only learn to talk. That's what you just said was so great, Chief. So great. I don't know what I can add to that, except to say that I was asked to do this interview by Area 58 Television, Area 58 Community Access Media, and I love to be on camera. I got a big fat ego, but I'm so proud to have gone through this with the chief. I'm so proud to know him just a little bit better. I'm fairly new to Carver. I've only been here for 16 years. And this fire department, well, you know as well as I do that there's no other fire department around like this. I can't imagine that there is any fire department in the state like this one. So I'm going to kind of end it here. I think we've shown you the important part. There's other things that you should see, maybe where they sleep, the kitchen, the lounge where they relax, that kind of thing. When I say they, I'm talking about a bunch of guys who've just been out maybe saving some lives or saving a building or whatever, and they come in all covered with crud, they clean up and they want to go in there and have a cup of coffee. Why not? Why not? Where's the harm? And by the way, have you seen the main street here with the library, the town hall, the fire station, the new school going in, the new police station, and the new lighting? It's as pretty a town as I've ever seen. So stop complaining if you are, because we've got the best public safety unit in the world. The police department and the fire department, led by two great guys, Craig Weston, the fire chief, Mark Dufely, the police chief. I feel very good to be a resident of this town. Thank you very much. And I'm going to say goodbye now, just like Red Skelton used to say. But I'll be back. Just because I'm saying goodbye, don't let this old age fool you. I'll be back. But Red Skelton used to say goodbye and God bless.